everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you are new here, welcome. If you are not, welcome back. So I'm taking a quick break from work right now, and I wanted to jump on camera real quick while it was on my mind and talk about some tidbits with Tomeka. So as you all know from a previous video, I have lost my third relative to COVID-19. And it's been a little rough, but I'm making this video because of my last relative. Get it together. Okay, I'm not gonna cry, but I am making this video because of my last relative. She died at the age of 37. She left 3 children, and it's tough. I'm making this video because I want to talk to you all about a few things in reference to that. So the first thing we want to talk about is having your wishes written down. I think that's really important. One, I call it controlling from the grave. And it's important because a lot of times family members don't know what you want. And I mean, do you want to be cremated? Do you want to be buried? Do you want to be buried next to your wife? Do you want to be buried next to your girlfriend, your boyfriend? You know, who knows what you really want? Do you want your ashes to go to your kids? Do you care about your kids? You know, do you want your ashes to go to your wife? You know, what do you want? I've seen where people are married for 30 years and living with the girlfriend or the boyfriend. And, you know, 30 years later, you know, you pass away. Well, guess what? The girlfriend she got 2 kids by you, but she has no authority because the wife has all the authority. Legally, you're still married to the person you left 30 years ago for the woman you've been living with for the last 30 years. You need to have all this stuff written down because you might not want your wife to be in charge of your funeral. And then the wife gets nasty and be like, the hell with her, and leave her off, and you know, and the kids, and just put her and her kids. It can get messy. Seen it all. Okay, so make sure you have your wishes written down. What do you want? How do you want it done? And here's to my next point: who is going to pay for it? Okay, if you are married, your wife is legally responsible, or your husband is legally responsible for you. If you are single and you have children over a certain age, I believe 25 in most states, your child is legally responsible for you. If you do not have children, your parents are responsible for you, or your next of kin, which could be a sibling. So make sure you have things written down. Who's going to pay for it? Don't be that person that comes in the bank. When I die, and you know, the hell with it, they can figure it out. No, don't do that, because funerals cost money. Funerals cost money. You need to understand that, you know, if you want to be cremated, that can cost money. You got to pay for the cremation. You got to pay for the urn. You got all those things need to be paid for. If you want to be buried, casket, church. Churches don't let you. All churches don't let you host no funeral for free. Cleanup. Now that it's COVID, you got to pay for cleanup. You also got to pay for the cemetery plot, the headstone. All those things cost money. Now, that brings me to my third point. If you don't know how you're going to pay for it, then you need to get what we call burial insurance. You don't have to always have this overpriced high insurance, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, plus thousands of dollars. You can get a cheap insurance policy. I just lied, y'all. But you can get a cheap insurance policy for about, you know, $25,000. So that they could take care of funeral costs, you know, and whatever bills that might need to be taken care of at that time. If you have children, it is important. If you one of the things that really bothers me is a lot of people. Even in our world, let's talk about our world right now, okay? So we're in the world of budgeting. We are in our own little community, and some of us are stay-at-home parents. some of us do not work. Our husbands or our wives go out there and they make the cheddar, and they bring it home for us to sit here and distribute and figure out what we want to do with it and how we're going to make it work. If your spouse passes away, how you going to pay for that house? How you going to pay for your apartment, your rent? You got kids to think about. So it is something to think about, to make sure you have insurance on that person who's out there making the money. You should have enough insurance to cover the cost of the home. So if your home right now is going to cost you $300,000 to pay it off, think about getting $350,000 worth of insurance to pay off that home. $300,000 will pay off the home. $50,000 will help you get yourself together on your feet. I'm sure they have 401k, which you'll be able to get. Pension, you can get pension benefits, things like that. But we don't think about those things. Let's make sure we think about those things and we have that stuff in order. Personally, for myself, I have children. 2 children from my husband's previous marriage. They're adults. We don't have to worry about them, but we do have a son that is under 18, and he will not be 18 for another 6 years. Even with that being said, he wants to go to college and become a neurosurgeon. I gotta pay for that. If I pass away, and if my husband passes away, it is not the responsibility of the person to be financially in debt to take care of my child. That's just my opinion. And my mother is going to get my child. I don't want to leave that burden on my mom to figure out how she's going to put another child through college, how she's going to pay for another child. So we have put in place insurance policies. We put in place pensions and Social Security, and and on my insurance policy alone, there is a clause that if both of me and my husband passes away, that the insurance will pay for my son to go to college, and that he will get a stipend every month, so that financially my mom will be okay to take care of my son. These are the things that we put in place. If my mom is not alive, I have somebody else in place. These are the things that we put in place to make sure our son is financially going to be okay. And the other thing is, we put in place that if you spend his money, he can sue your ass. Point blank and period. Because we know a lot of people get quite a bit of money. Family members, y'all know I'm telling the truth. Family members will get all this money and be like, oh my God, let me go get me a car. Oh girl, I'm gonna pay up my rent. That's not your money. Don't do that. Don't do that. No, it's not your money. He can sue you. So make sure you have something in place for your kids. But I wanted to make sure that I came to you all with this video because I think it's very important that we think about getting insurance. We think about what we want to happen to us when we pass away. Put some things in place. Your wishes. It's just a simple conversation or a simple letter. This is what I want. Put it in a place. You can even get it notarized at the bank. Put it in a place where people can find it, etc. Bank accounts. This is important. Please, 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 people, put a beneficiary payable on death on your bank accounts. I can't tell you how many times people come into the bank and say, my husband died and it's $30,000 in there but no beneficiary. I'm so sorry. At this point, you're gonna have to go to the judge and get some paperwork. Point blank and period. I don't care that they're your spouse. No beneficiary tells me that they didn't want you to have it. So you need to go get me some documentation to tell me that you rightfully own this money. I had one. It was so funny. The gentleman died. He had a child outside the marriage. Left the money to the child outside the marriage. And when he passed away, the siblings were being nasty because they were way older than her. And didn't want this girl to have anything. Well, when they came in, my dad got some money here, blah, 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 blah. I'm so sorry, you're gonna have to get documentation from the judge. Well, he put a beneficiary. You're correct, but it's not you. Well, who is it? I'm not at liberty to tell you that. Well, I'm his power of attorney. Power of attorney only lasts while the person is alive. The date of demise power of attorney no longer exists. The daughter was the beneficiary. She came in about 4 or 5 months later. Oh, honey, here's your check. Nothing I could do, because he put it in place. I'm sure he knew, you know, his kids are going to be nasty to the girl. So he put it all in place. And she was sweet. She was like 20-something years old. Young. So make sure you have some documentation. Put things in place. Especially if you own a home. Put something in place. And I will also say this. My husband is the breadwinner. So we have 2 policies on him. Plus he has, you know, some other funds available, and then we have 2 policies on me, and I have other funds available. But we have those policies in place for a reason. So I just want to make sure you all understand that it is important that you go and get insurance. You have beneficiaries on your 401k, your pension, your IRAs, your bank accounts. Make sure you have beneficiaries. Document what you want done. Get it notarized. Get a trust. A trust does not cost much. When I worked at one of the credit unions, they had a financial advisor there, and he only charged $1,000 to create a trust versus you going out paying $5,000 to some attorney to get a trust made. So I hope I was able to give you some tips. I hope this video did not come off angry. I'm excited about the things that I'm telling you all. And I just want everybody to be able to understand the importance of a lot of things that are going on in life, especially when it comes down to this horrible virus that we have here right now. We have to make sure that we have things in place, because although we don't plan on dying until we see our great grandchildren, and we want to live to be 100, I know I do, you just never know what can happen. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, bye.